beautiful friends. It's Amanda here, and today we're going to do a chill little get ready with me video, my favorite kind of video. As usual, I want to start off by showing you my unmakeuped, unfiltered skin. I have redness and crinkles and pigmentation and little hairs and uneven skin tone and all that good human quality that we all have, despite how most of the faces we see online actually look these days. So, just your semi regular reminder from me that human skin isn't smooth and flawless, and you don't have to look airbrushed. And please don't let those images rewire your brain too much, okay? I know it's hard, but I have a hunch that you are a hot ass today. No offense. Sorry, I said that. Also, your semi regular reminder to wear sunscreen every day, even if it's winter time, even if it's not hot and it doesn't feel sunny. You still got to protect your skin from those sneaky UV rays all the time. Alrighty. Now that we have covered my usual bases, let's get to the much more fun part, which is playing with some makeup. Yay! I have been going for a more toned down look lately, partially just because I've been a little lazy for my primping time, and partially because I feel like when I do lighter makeup overall, it just lasts longer throughout the day. So after my beloved Hello Sunshine SPF, I'm doing a light layer of the Maracuja Tinted Hydrator from Tarte. Just for reference, I use the shade 13 in Fair Light Neutral, and I blended that in with the 101 brush from BK Beauty. I'm going to do my best to list all of the specific shades and the brushes or tools I use in this video down in the description box in case you want that info. I try not to clutter up the screen with too much text so that you can actually hopefully see the makeup performing on my face. Now, to be very frank with you, I haven't felt super inspired to make much beauty content lately. However, there are a few things that have piqued my interest that I really want to share with you. And how cool is it that some of these are things that my real life friends made? So, like in today's little get ready with me, I'm sticking to a lot of my tried and true things that I've been using steadily for years, but I am gonna pair those staple makeup items that you've seen a million times on the channel with a couple of new releases from Singe Beauty, my friend Angie's brand. Certainly, if you're watching this video, then I guarantee you know who Angie is. If you're not already subscribed to her channel, then make sure that's your next stop after you finish this video. I also have one of the quads from Hannah's collab with Salt New York that I want to feature in an upcoming video. I already have some swatches from that one up on my Instagram. Plus, we have some great indie releases coming up. I do have the Odin's Eye holiday palette. I have the Nomad one. Those have already been announced. And there may be a few other cool things that haven't been announced yet from some of my favorite brands. So I'm happy to say I'm feeling a lot more inspired with all of these great indie releases on the horizon. So, speaking of great indie releases, let's talk about these new Singe Beauty products. I want to start with the evocative lip liners first. There are 9 shades, and these retail for $12 each. However, there is a build your own bundle option that allows you to get any 3 shades of your choice for $32, which is a $4 savings compared to buying 3 of the liners individually. I really love this. I think this is such a good idea. And especially if you're interested in these liners, that's what I would recommend you take advantage of. I'm going to show you this swatch of all 9 shades on my arm, but I also have more swatches on the Makeup.Just.For.Fun Instagram. I typically catalog a lot of my swatch photos there, so if you want to see more images of these liners, you can check that out. Brazen Birch is my personal favorite, I think just because it's very much a my lips but better shade on me. So it suits me really well, in my opinion. And that's just the shade that I keep gravitating towards. So I was trying to decide between Brazen Birch or Ambitious Ash. And I decided to switch it up today. I used the Ambitious Ash liner pretty much across my entire lip. So I just kind of pile some on there. This is pretty blendable. So I piled some on there and just sort of dabbed and filled in most of my lips. And then I went on top of the Ambitious Ash liner with this NARS Afterglow Lip Shine Gloss in the shade Smooth Talk. This is just the perfect combo for a soft, subtle, neutral beigey type of lip. That's been my go-to lip preference this fall. So I'm super happy with how this lip came out, and this is the combo that I'm going to keep going back to for sure. The last order of business is eyes. So I'm first going to do a little bit of priming. This is from Sigma. It's their eyeshadow base in the shade Ignite. Definitely a product that is worth the hype that it gets, and I actually don't say that too often. Now, for the most exciting part of this look, at least in my opinion, is the eyeshadow palette. I'm going to use the Paisley Hoot palette, which is the latest release from Singe Beauty. This is a mostly warm 70s inspired funky neutral palette. It's priced at $45 and it has 16 shadows inside. I love the artwork on the cover. I love the artwork inside. There's a nice big mirror in here. And I'm always a fan of the little special printed eyeshadow pans. Such a fun, very cute touch for this palette. The matte shades in here are super velvety, but they're not so soft. You know when mattes are too soft and they just feel crumbly? These mattes have a nice balance of retaining that velvety texture and that opacity from a very pigmented matte shade, but it's still easy to work with. It's easy to blend and build up if you like. And then the shimmer shades in here are incredibly smooth. None of that chunky, super foily texture. I actually don't mind those foily shades that are almost like squishy to the touch. But I do know a lot of people really don't like those. So don't let the super shiny metallic finish on these swatches fool you. These are very smooth, but they don't have that thick texture. Oh boy. I hope I did a decent job explaining that. I'm going to do a very simple eye look today. I'm just using a little bit of the shade Rattan and very lightly dusting that into the crease area of my lid. I'm not going to be super precise. As usual, I go for a little bit of a messy, maybe grungy, if you will, type of application. And, you know, it may be a look, it may be aesthetic, but it's also just kind of a lack of technical skill, if we're being honest. So, next I'm going into this grayish green shade called Platforms. I love this color. I think this whole collection, the liners and the palette, did a great job of touching on some very true neutral shades that aren't super common on the market right now. And this shade Platforms is one of those for me that I just find to be intriguing and very wearable and interesting take on a neutral. It's a little bit gray, it's a little bit olive, and it's a lot of it going into most looks that I do with this palette. I'm doing a little bit of additional blending just with whatever was left over from that first brush with rattan on it, just to soften all the edges. And then I'm going to add some shimmer in the form of this shade Jumpsuit. I'm going to tap on that sparkly golden shade just using my fingertip, and I'm going to blend outward, but I don't want to cover up the green too much. I want to make sure that I can retain the gold and the green in this look. So I did go back and add just a little bit more depth after I applied that shimmer. And then I'm going to curl my lashes and do a brown mascara. I've always been a fan of brown mascaras, but especially with a look like this that is lighter and more subtle, I think it just is the perfect finishing touch. I'm so happy with the performance of these new Singe products. I love this look. I've been wearing it a ton. It goes perfectly with my little fall leaf earrings. I hope that you enjoyed this little hangout time with me as much as I enjoyed spending it with you. Let me know what else you want to see on the channel from some upcoming releases that I mentioned earlier. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I love your beautiful little face, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!